Loquacious, not so live.
Fucking A.
We have no idea what the problem is, but
Again, we thought we had it figured out
right.
because yesterday,
I ran a successful test yesterday, ran live for 4 minutes, never had a glitch with it at all, and tonight I can't get it to work. I did a speed test right before we went on. Speeds were screaming on the camera.
yeah, it was on my phone. I hit great speed.
Yeah. And then we tried
One
to
and a half-
record live with both my phone and Scott's phone, and
And buffered on his phone and cut me off.
yeah.
After 10 seconds.
So what's our most recent saying? Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Well, we're going to go ahead and do our show. If you saw any of these the pre-stuff that I did over the weekend, you'll know that I went to St. Augustine Distillery over the weekend. Had a great time there, man. I did a couple of tastings. Had some of their $200 bottle of the Saint. That was where I got one of them.
Okay.
And the other one, the next day when I went back, I had the Armagnac.
Oh, that's got a great flavor to it.
Yeah. Great finish on that.
Yeah.
Really tasty.
Like eating fucking cinnamon toast crunch.
Yeah. But the Saint, I found out, by the way, and we're going to use the old-fashioned mix tonight here too. The Saint is finished in barrels where the old-fashioned mix has been kept. So it's like the Manhattan finish.
Oh, so it's a finished.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So that's the $200 bottle of the Saint.
How does that taste?
It's tasty.
Oh, I would imagine.
Here's what
Finished
they do.
whiskey's got usually a really good profile.
Pardon me. What they do with the Saint is they go out and they pick 5 barrels, at least 4 to 5 years old, sometimes even a 7. So most likely you're going to get a little bit of a 7 in that blend. And that's what they do the Saint with, is they do 5 barrels and blend those barrels.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
like I said, normally 4 to 5 years, but you might get a 6 or a 7 that slips in there too.
Okay.
So,
I mean, that's interesting.
well, it's kind of going to be a neck pour, but why don't we check it out?
Let's check it.
Now-
I've never had this.
Right.
I've seen it reviewed. So I'm unbiased. I mean, I've seen the reviews I've seen on a few of them are all over from people that I trust their palate.
So what we've got here, just for you guys,
And nobody ever pans it, so
this is the St. Augustine Distillery Florida Straight Bourbon. It's 88 proof, age stated 3 years. So let's go ahead and get us a little nip of that.
yeah, fuck yeah. In our mini Karens.
Yeah.
Baby Karens.
There we go. They call them wee Karens.
Wee Karens. Okay, wee Karens.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, that's good.
But cool little bottles. I mean, the facility was really cool, and I'll post some pictures up on some of the social media later from my tour there this weekend. Did I send you any of the pictures from the tour?
Yes, you did.
I love how they've got the ABCs of bourbon in there and the explanations of what they do for the process.
You know, it's funny. I cut the orange for this old fashioned we're gonna make, and I can smell the orange oil on this hand. So I'm like, where's that orange coming in? Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's nice.
It's got a classic bourbon
Classic
smell.
bourbon aroma to it.
It smells a little young.
Yeah. Well, 3 year. So
Yeah, it's not terrible.
my ancient age over here, 2 year.
Yeah.
And it's the
No,
rose, the rose that I brought back from Dillard, the rose bourbon. That was a 2 year.
That's
also.
a 2 year. And hey,
But
look at
it's
the,
really kind of
look at that the High West Double Rye. That's a 2 year.
Yeah.
So, and that's really tasty.
The color for a 3 year is pretty good too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not light.
Really cool looking bottle too. I love the shadow effect with the distillery on back.
No, it's just got a classic bourbon nose to it.
Little sting to it. Get a lot of the alcohol on the tip. But that's nice. Not too bad.
You really taste the oak barrel. Mm-hmm. It's got a nice, and it's you. A lot of people can say, "Oh, I taste the barrel," and
Right.
they. It's a good barrel flavor.
Right. Overall, not bad.
Um,
One of the more expensive bottles probably would have been a little bit better, but still. But this is great for cocktails.
yeah, I mean, light vanilla, little caramel.
I was going to say I taste a little caramel in there. There's a sweetness to it.
Yeah.
And I did tag them in all of our social media the other day when I said we were going to be doing this. So,
Well, hopefully they'll see it.
right? I talked to a couple of people while we were there too. Did I sent you the story of the guy that I talked to, right?
You probably did. I
The
don't
New
know.
York cop.
Yes. Yeah.
So I asked for permission to mention him, and I haven't received word back from him yet, so I'm not going to do so.
Okay.
That was a really cool story. I'm not going to mention him by name, but I'll mention a couple of things about it. He was a state trooper. No, excuse me, a police officer in New York, and got in his own personal vehicle, had his teenage son, and was taking a passenger to work somewhere. You know, like giving somebody a ride or whatever. 19-year-old inexperienced driver pulled out in front of him, ended up rolling his truck 4 times. He woke up several days later in the hospital with skull fractures and all kind of other injuries. When he got up to go to the bathroom, he hit the floor pretty hard because he had lost his left leg.
Oh gosh.
And that's all straight from the story that I read, on it last night. But I mean, the dude was really cool though. I talked to him and his wife both for a little while up there and told him about us, and so hopefully he'll tune in at some point.
Oh yeah, I mean,
answer me back on Facebook and let me know.
And I hope
give him a good shout out.
Yeah, we'll give him a shout out, and I mean, here it's not like we got a giant following,
Right?
Because we don't, but we're just 2 guys that get together for a drink once a week and we have fun, and we,
Absolutely.
talk shop and bullshit and bartend.
One part bartending, 2 parts bullshitting. That's us.
And I've been really looking forward to this week. I want to tell everybody because for the first time, you guys get to see the Hatter as the bartender.
Oh, I was Joe the bartender yesterday out here in our little shindig too, making Bloody Marys and something called a Jimmy Z. Except I didn't really make that. Jen ended up making it herself. But it's a variation on the Sea Breeze. Grapefruit juice, cranberry, and vodka. And the Jimmy Z version has a little.
There's a smoothness to this.
There is, even though you get that bite on the tongue when you.
It is a forward bite, but it's not a bad bite because it's not super proofy.
Right. Not as bad as Listerine.
Here, if this was
nothing against that was no cut on St. Augustine Distillery.
No, if this was a barrel proof, it would probably at this age be just. And even then, I mean, I've had some barrel proofs that I was extremely disappointed in because I was expecting, the bottle I'm thinking about is Old Forester single barrel proof.
Right.
Well, it's got a great flavor, but it's 130 proof.
Ooh.
So I kind of prepared for that.
Right.
But it tastes more like it's 190 proof.
Oh.
It's just like, but now
blowtorch.
That was the first time. The bottle's about half gone now, and it's really calmed down. So it needed a
large neck pour on it.
It needed a lot of oxygen. Yes.
Very large neck pour.
Even here, who's got a great tolerance for it?
Who's that?
Is Jack.
All right.
And so he was like,
whoa.
He says, this has got great flavor, but holy cow, it's fire.
Well, here, let's go ahead and make us a drink with this stuff.
Please do, because we're way overdue.
Yes, we are. Man, here, this is
especially after the first 15 minutes of us going live, all excited, ready to get something
right.
done.
All right, we're going to make it tonight. Yeah.
A surprise live, and what happens? Oh, we bust out.
You're going to make them both at once tonight.
It works for me. It's close enough for government work.
Yeah. All right. And I got a new bottle to add
don't
to
you
my
gotta do
collection
two?
over here. Oh, yeah. Duh. Thank you.
That would have been a
I'm
weak
an
ass
idiot.
drink,
No
man.
shit.
Not that we would have complained.
Right. We would have just made another one.
No, you know what we would have tasted would have been like, "Ooh, this is too sweet."
Right?
Yeah,
Because it would
because
been,
that's got to be really concentrated. If it's
only a half ounce, right?
a 4-to-1 ratio, like they
and just
suggest.
so you guys know, the old fashioned mix that we're making here is also aged in once used bourbon barrels.
I'm looking forward to see if we get a real true old fashioned out of this.
Yes. So the instructions
Oh,
on
we
here.
need cherries.
Ah, shit! All I got is the cheap ones.
Well, get the cheap ones. Fuck it. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Fuck it.
By the way, they had their own cherries there too, bourbon cherries,
Oh yeah.
and they were about the same price as the Luxardos.
Yeah. If you want really good maraschino cherries that are cured, you're gonna pay a fair price for them
All right.
because it takes so long to get them there. These get pressure tossed
right.
in high pressure sugar coloring. Yeah. So
Kind of like a lab made diamond.
yeah, kind of. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's check this shit out, man.
Yeah, let me give that a whiff.
Nice. That's got some
Ooh.
spice to it.
Oh yeah, clove.
Very clovey.
Clove and cinnamon and baking spice. I mean,
Yeah,
baking spice.
yeah.
Big time baking spice.
Oh, this is going to be tasty, man.
I think it's going to be really tasty.
All right, so a half ounce of this to 2 ounces of bourbon. It's one part to 4 is the mixture with the St. Augustine syrup. Ooh, look at that color. Look how dark that is.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right.
Cap it.
Cap that sucker up. Don't let me forget to refrigerate that when we are done. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Give us a cherry out here. One for you. One for me. Come out of there. Alrighty, we'll give them a good stir here.
Hold on.
Yeah, let's throw the orange in there. Thank you, sir. Alright. That one going. Once again, we're using our roulette old-fashioned glasses given to us by
Thank
Miss
you, Wendy.
Yes. She was over here yesterday. We had a good time. Yeah, yesterday I did the same recipe as the Bloody Mary Jane, but with Tito's instead of the 420 vodka. It was quite tasty. Matter of fact, Linda paid me a very big compliment. She doesn't like Bloody Marys except for at the airport. And she took a sip of that and she goes, "That's an airport one all day long. That's an airport Bloody Mary."
Well, that's
She
fun.
goes, "You're approved."
An airport Bloody Mary. Okay.
Yep. I thought that was kind of fun. Did you see what else I had out here on the
I did. I saw that and I was waiting for you to comment on it.
sorry, I thought you got.
No. I just was stirring it more. Get a little dilution on that.
Cheers, sir.
Cheers.
And
You know
cheers
what?
to all of you.
Cheers to all of you. This is probably maybe my favorite cocktail.
Wow, it is a little sweet, but wow. Oh, man. Dude, the spice. This would be the perfect holiday old-fashioned. Would it not? Because, I taste cinnamon in that.
And the clove and it's baking
Yeah.
baking
Just-
spices. Apple pie.
That's freaking amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
it keeps going too. Holy cow.
And then the orange will light something up in there, too.
Oh yeah. It is I'm surprised.
That it's as sweet as it is with half an ounce of syrup. Wow.
That's got to be a very concentrated sugar syrup.
Whoo!
You know, I'm wondering if
Good
that's
though.
I'm here. I'm just curious
Yeah,
if it's
take a look.
made with demerara sugar or something. Florida cane sugar, water, orange peel, spices, Gentian root, chocolate bark, tartanic acid.
That's citrus.
The
flavoring,
tartanic
basically.
acid is
Yeah.
preservative.
Yeah.
Um, I'll tell you
A lot of
what.
people don't realize this is a lot of what your citrus sour candies are made out of too.
Shake well before using.
Yep.
I'll tell you what.
I did shake it, didn't I?
Yeah, I don't think it makes a difference. This is surprisingly good.
Yeah, really good stuff. We approve.
And here, it's not the same old fashioned as a traditional old fashioned with a sugar cube and Angostura at all.
Right.
It's a great. This might be the best riff on an old fashioned I've
Really?
Oh man,
That's a high compliment coming from the sage over here, especially being his favorite drink already.
This is a great. Because
That is quite tasty.
the thing that gets me is it travels on your palate and then keeps traveling.
Yeah.
It's
It goes
like,
all the way back.
It's like
back
there's
down your throat.
waves of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. I will not jump up and down and say this is a great cocktail.
Right. Unless it is.
Unless I've poured a great cocktail or somebody's poured a really great cocktail for me. This ranks.
I'm impressed myself. Thank you, St. Augustine Distillery.
You know, honestly, this is better than this. This with, I'm thinking the bourbon we had last week, the toasted bourbon.
Oh,
Elijah Craig
They have
toasted.
it toasted too, by the way.
That would be really good, but I'm thinking about Sagamore Double Oak Rye. That would be.
Yeah. That would be amazing.
I think it might be on the list for the fall.
Yep.
Which it's our favorite time, my favorite time of the year at least. I mean, it's not, but you know what? I'm getting to the point almost where it's like, when does it suck? It doesn't really suck anymore. There's only small periods of time that suck.
Right.
Like driving home from the beach sucks. Because it's like I'm not at the fucking beach anymore. Damn it, man.
We didn't go to the beach, but we still had to drive home on Sunday, so I can feel you on that one.
Yeah, well, and here, I went to the beach yesterday, and it was great, of course, until it rained. And it was a classic Florida rain shower. Yeah. So by the time we got off the beach, it was almost done. So we were wet getting in the car.
Right.
And then everybody else was making the same move at the same time. And it was late in the afternoon. It was like 3:30 in the afternoon, which is, of course, set your clock in Florida in the summertime. Oh, it's 4 o'clock.
Thunderstorm. Yep.
So it sucks. We went to Matanzas.
Okay.
So think about
You were right over there near us then.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
Think about from the fort,
Yeah.
drive up and out to 95, where you cross under 95 on 100. That took, which should be about a 15-minute drive.
Right.
It
But
took.
we are now talking also holiday.
It took
traffic.
almost an hour. Because first of all, the bridge went up,
Right.
so we had a 15-minute wait for that. And
we
then
drove across the Bridge of Lands a couple of times while we were there.
And then, fortunately, of course, when the bridge goes up, the traffic on the other side of the bridge clears. But we were so far back that it already stacked up by the time we made that left-hand turn.
Right.
So it was like, half an hour yet to get to that freeway.
We stayed over in the Lincoln District. Is where we
Okay,
were.
yeah.
Very nice little codger. And I'll go ahead and give them a shout out here because I still need to do them a review. But it was 36 Whedon was the name of the cottage.
Okay.
And there was an actual historic marker out front of the cottage itself. Because somebody important in the civil rights movement had lived in that spot.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
yeah.
Okay. And here, you know
Very
what?
cool little cottage.
For anybody that has never been to St. Augustine, Put it on your bucket list.
Yeah.
It's
The
the
history
oldest.
there is
It's
just
the
incredible.
oldest city in the country.
Yeah.
And the history there is really quite incredible. And put
One
it on
day
your
is
bucket.
not enough.
Yeah, put it on your bucket list to go down to Fort Matanzas, because then you'll see the first fort the Spanish built in the continental United States.
Yep.
And it's really kind of a marvel,
It really is.
given it how old it is.
Well, what I love too is the fact that and every tour you go on will mention this, the average height of people back when
Yeah,
Augustine
smaller
was
than us.
settled was 4'11" to 5 foot something.
Yeah.
You know, so when you go into these forts and even some of the houses and stuff over there, it's low clearance. You know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But a very, very cool place to go.
Yeah. No,
we did the trolley tour. We never made it through the old jail, but we went through the historic museum. Then we did the dolphin sunset boat tour.
Okay. See any dolphins?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a pod,
Yeah.
a mating pod.
It's that time of year, too.
Yes, it is. So there's a reason that's also called the Bay of the Dancing Dolphins.
The dancing dolphins.
Yeah, we saw.
That's because they don't want to call them the fucking dolphins.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we saw a dance. We saw an orgy going on. I mean, and it was like a damn circle.
Oh, yeah.
You'd see them come up and over, and you'd hear them blow as they come over. But it was like a constant. There was a fin and a blowhole coming in all the time. You know, so it was like 3 or 4 of them rolling in ball. You know?
Hey. Whatever
Power
works.
to you.
Oh, to be a dolphin? Depends on what you like sex. I don't know.
But yeah, we really had a blast, and like I said, I really enjoyed the tour through the distillery too. That was pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You and I need to go up there sometime and actually do a remote from the distillery.
Well, you
I think
know,
that'd be cool.
here, it'd be cool if we could get, if the guy
If we could actually
responds,
go live.
if the,
Okay.
yeah, no, if the guy responds to you
Yeah,
and maybe set up a live.
we could. He's up in Jacksonville, from what I can tell. So
Okay.
yeah,
That'd
Clay County, I think, is where he retired from.
Well, Clay County is, Jacksonville is in Duval, County.
right? Which is
Clay County is right next door.
right.
Yeah.
Right. So up in that area, that general area. But yeah, that was pretty cool. So yeah, and we also have some bourbon truffles. I don't know if we'll actually try to get into those tonight. We can if you want to.
Yeah. Well, and you know, here again, you know what's amazing? That screams holidays, of course.
Yeah. Made with our Florida straight bourbon by Creme de la Coco.
They're probably fucking swinging.
I don't doubt it. Okay, they're good through June 26th, so we got to eat them before holidays.
Well, I guess
Try
we'll
one?
have to get some more. Yeah, fuck yeah.
What the hell?
I mean, the
Right.
alcohol's just fucking. Why don't you just use this as a knife?
I'm already in it. Too many years of retail and box cutter being
Yeah, okay.
halfway across the room. All right, what do we got here?
I mean, you know, here of all the time, I'm always cautious about the carbs that I put in my body because carbs make me fat. And of course, you know, I got a comment from a good friend of mine, by the way. He texted me after last week's show,
Uh-huh.
and he says, "Hey, fatso."
So here are our bourbon truffles. Very cool looking.
And we'll give this a review too.
Yes.
Oh, they got pecans on them.
Yeah, a little pecan on top.
Oh, that should be interesting. I want to take just the chocolate first, though.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Nice creamy center. It's pretty tasty.
The pecan's going to make this really good. There's a hint of bourbon there. Just
Yeah,
a
not strong.
very faint hit.
Look good.
It's in the cream. Yeah, that's a winner. I can tell that it's going to be really good with the nut.
Yeah. And that'll be a good follow on it, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that mixes nicely. Yeah, we're going to have to go back about in October or something like that and get some more of these for the holiday show.
The pecan makes it.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, man.
I've always been a pecan fan anyway.
No, I'm a huge pecan fan.
Of course, I grew up in Georgia. You could pretty much, in somebody's backyard that you knew, you could go out.
I was going to say we live in the pecan region of the country.
Yep.
So yeah, you know what's funny? I have a pecan tree in my backyard.
Oh, do you? I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Well, guess who gets all the pecans? The fucking squirrels.
Right.
I never see. I've lived there 10 years now.
Never seen.
I've never
shell.
seen a single fucking pecan.
Damn. You've been there 10 years.
Can you believe it?
No. This year will be 7 here for me.
I can't believe that.
I know, right? Insane.
Where's the time go?
Time just flying right now.
I you know, I was talking about this earlier today. You know, you and I know things that,
Yeah.
but and
apparently somebody else we're associated with is starting to wake up a little bit too.
oh, good.
From this morning. The thing that I sent you this morning. Your wife's former boss.
I laughed so fucking hard at that. Even Elizabeth.
I know, right?
Elizabeth laughed her fucking ass off at that.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw Derek the other day, by the way. Derek Frazier, one of our guests in here.
Many weeks ago, go back on YouTube.
Yep, that should be back around October. Right
Works
near the
for
end of October.
company that's instrumental
in saving
in
both of our
saving
lives.
both of our
Yep,
lives.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But so I told him.
What's amazing about this,
Uh-huh.
as we're going down, what does a classic old fashioned do? Gets
It's a little
sweeter. And this is doing that.
Yep.
I was thinking it wouldn't because it was going to get diluted with the ice. And we are going to get the sweetest part at the front.
Right.
But fuck me, I'm wrong. I like it when I'm wrong sometimes. I really do.
It happens so infrequently that it's actually quite a surprise when it happens.
Stop bragging on me.
I'm not being sarcastic either. I mean it.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
At least I'm not as bad as Fonzie.
Right.
I admit it when I'm wrong.
Right. Oh, man. All right. Well, here we are halfway in, and we hadn't even touched on our normal material yet.
You know, I was talking about that with Jack.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, "You sure the volume only goes to 47?" That's what he said to me. I was like, "It might go to 470." I might be
who
wrong
knows?
about that. I mean, I don't. I mean,
the train is still rolling at full speed. I mean,
oh, I'm thinking they're just shoveling more coal in, seeing how fast it can actually go.
you remember Back to the Future? The colored logs?
Yeah, that's appropriate.
Yep.
You know,
Every time you think you've hit top speed, somebody throws the green one on next.
It's no. I'm at the point now where it's like, I mean, here, one of the things that we've talked about, you and I've talked about, so we kind of, I've been waiting for it to see if it materializes.
Right.
Is there's a scene in the remake with what's his name, Keanu Reeves, The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, but the classic scene out of there is the Monty Python guy. What's his name? John
Cleese.
John Cleese. John Cleese says, is only at the precipice of utter destruction that humans will make the decision to change.
Right.
And that sticks with me because one of the things that we've talked about, I've been telling you for fucking 15 years or whatever the fuck it's been, is that we're going to come to a precipice. I'm wondering, now, that's the precipice. I think when we hit that precipice, because I see they're pressing so many buttons, okay, and it's constant. It's okay. There's peace talks going on. Trump comes out and says we're going to settle this, and the next thing you know, there's a multi-mission drone attack on Putin's helicopter when he's coming to peace talks. Okay, I mean the same thing with Israel, the same thing with Hamas, the same thing with the Houthis.
Yeah,
it's
like no matter how hard others are trying to bring peace into it, it's just going the other direction.
Well, because I mean, I hate to say this, but I'll just say it in plain English. The deep state is a cornered rat. They know that they're a cornered rat.
Yep.
And that corner keeps shrinking. So they keep lashing out, and it's nothing they do is going to work. And I've said this to other people. Mm-hmm. I love to text people when they ask me this question, what's going on? What's going to happen? And I just text them. I don't tell them because you can't tell somebody this. That's why that's why we don't like to talk about this.
Right.
Because I can't tell you. You have to see it for yourself. So I will text back the pictures of the city of Berlin in 1935, and it's a beautiful city. Mm-hmm. It's an absolutely beautiful city. And then I'll text back pictures. I'll text a picture of 1945, where it's absolutely razed.
Right.
By the Russians and the Americans bombing and artillerying it into absolute rubble.
Right. Oblivion.
And still the psychopaths. And here's what's sad is because I've been to Germany. The German people are great people. I mean, of all the places I've been in Europe, now granted, I have a German heritage. Mm-hmm. But of all the places I've been in Europe, I had the most fun time with the German people. They're happy people. They're genuinely happy people. Of course, all the beer we were drinking helped a lot.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Although the beer there is very different. It's so much better than the beer we get here. But the psychopaths had to absolutely be blasted into oblivion before they would surrender, and that's the same. We're fighting the same psychopaths.
Yeah. Yep.
And for those of you that want to know what I'm talking about, just go research Operation Paperclip, and you'll see where some of the psychopaths went, which was the mistake.
Right.
That's the biggest mistake that we made. Patton was right.
I was checking some of these pictures out from St. Augustine.
Okay.
I came across those right quick. I was going to pull them up to show them later, but some of the, I don't know how much of these I sent you. The ABCs of Bourbon was pretty cool here, and I'll show this.
Ever since
like so,
I got to show you something.
Okay.
Now you've seen my old phone.
Yep.
Which was very limited on space. With this new phone, I didn't even have half that many pictures
on the old phone.
On my old phone. I just fucking dink.
So they've got this display at the St. Augustine Brewery that's the ABCs of Bourbon, and each one tells you the steps.
Yeah.
Of what makes it bourbon. Any place in the United States, that's the A. Any place in the United States of America can produce bourbon.
Correct.
B, bourbon must be aged in a new charred oak barrel.
Yep, virgin, white oak, American white oak. Actually, it's the barrel of choice is it's like a shink. I forget the name of the oak tree.
Right.
It's very specific to the Appalachian region.
Gotcha.
I just can't think of it right now. But that's the ideal oak barrel.
And here's something you talked about before too. C is corn must make up at least 51% of the bourbon's mash bill. The D is distillate must come off the still at no higher than 160 proof.
Correct.
E is entry proof into the barrel must be no higher than 125 proof.
So they proof it down with water.
Right. And then finished bottle proof must be no lower than 80 proof. The G is genuine bourbon cannot contain any added flavoring or coloring.
Correct. It has to. It's the only thing it's getting its color or flavor from, because fresh bourbon out of the still is clear as water. A lot of people don't know that.
Right.
It gets all of its color and all of its
From
flavor
the barrel.
from the barrel.
Yep.
And so depending on the char level, there is 3 or 4 different levels of char. Depending on the char level will determine the kind of the flavor profile that you're going to get. And then the type of oak also. And how long it's in that barrel. And how much of the angel share gets released,
Right.
as to who gets the rest. And it's...
I love
Yeah,
this diagram.
that's a great diagram.
Decoding the barrel. And I'll put this up so we don't have to sit here and read all of it. And
Yeah.
everything, but we'll post that. But just some of the other stuff. I mean, the copperage, the art of barrel making. You know, just all kind of cool stuff that I was able to get some shots of. Here's the steps. Cooking the mash. Fermentation.
Yeah, fermentation. I mean, it's... Did you
Mash
get
to
to
low wine.
Did you get to see a fermentation just bubbling away?
No, unfortunately,
oh,
they
damn
didn't
it,
have
man.
any going at that moment. They were doing vodka while we were there. That's
Okay,
the
so
bottle.
that's different.
Heads, tails, and hearts,
Yeah.
and then look inside our barrels.
If you get the heads or the tails, you're going to go crazy.
Now,
Literally.
distilling fact: big brand bourbon distilleries will make on average more raw spirit in a 4-hour shift than St. Augustine will make in a full calendar year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because it's a craft distillery.
Yep.
Here, Wild Turkey, which you know I'm a huge Wild Turkey fan. They put out 500 barrels a day.
There's the toasted,
Oh, I bet you that's pretty good.
and then they've also got a port finish.
Oh, yep. The classic Angel's Envy is the first one that did that.
They have a bottle of your own.
Classic.
You get it straight out of the barrel.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be really cool. What would be really cool is if we could come up with a signature line.
You.
like store brands, you know?
Yeah, I know.
If somehow or other one day
Well, if we
there's
get
the Armagnac.
now here, you know, if you've never had an Armagnac finished bourbon,
That would be this. I did have a taste of that as well.
and go do yourself a favor if you find a bottle, and I would tell you if you find a bottle of Bourbon Barrel, that's the label, Bourbon Barrel. That's the best one that I've tasted. I swear to God, you could pour it. You think you're eating cinnamon toast crunch in the morning.
Oh my gosh. Bourbon infused. Cheers.
Oh, I bet you that would. You should have snagged a bottle.
I should have. They were like $26.
Okay.
Next time I go back, I'll
Yeah,
grab some
if
of
we
them.
go back, we'll,
Just to have as a little variety from the Luxardos. All right, now there's your Saint. Limited edition, barrel finished. The proof on the Saint, by the way, 114.8.
good proof point.
Yeah.
Very good proof point. That's a see here. That tells me that that's a good sip, probably a good sipping whiskey in their lineup. How many? What's the age on it? Age stated?
That's the blend.
Oh, that's the blend
That's
from
anywhere
4
from
to-
4 to 5
4 to-
to up to 7.
Up to 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what you can do,
See what's
just so
interesting.
you guys will know.
What's
when-
interesting to me, and I sorry to cut you off.
Yeah,
I'm-
no
you
worries.
know, I have a terrible habit of doing that.
You and me both, man.
As these craft distilleries continue in age, I promise you that they're going to come out with all of a sudden, okay, they've been in business for 8 years, so maybe 4 years from now, they'll come out with a 10-year
10-year, right.
age-stated bourbon.
Yep.
And it'll be a premium, a very premium price for it.
Right.
But on some of these craft distillers, it would be worth trying it.
Right.
Now, me personally, I would not. It's very hot in Florida.
Yeah.
Okay, so storing bourbon here, goes very fast. The same thing with the Texas bourbons. So because we don't get real winter. Okay, so we don't get this big expansion and contraction of the barrels
Right.
that get the spirit to get in and out of the wood across 10 years, across several seasons.
Right.
So things happen faster here, which is why we just don't get some of the real rich flavors that get developed up north.
Right.
And if you think about it, I mean, up north where Tennessee and Kentucky, that's really not that far from here. But the difference is
phenomenal as far as the
because they get
differences.
real snow and
Right.
real winter.
Real winters, right?
Yeah. So, but I've seen it with the Florida bourbons and some of the Texas bourbons. They'll come out though with some 3-year-old bourbons.
Right.
They're like, "Fuck, this tastes like it's 7 years old or 8 years old because it's so hot."
Right.
So, I mean, and it's did you get a chance to walk into a rick house? Do they have a rick house?
I did not. We were kind of being quick through there because Aiden was still outside.
Okay.
So we kind of rushed through it a little bit. Yeah. I need to go where I can spend some time in there sometime.
Oh, well, again, you know what? Like we said, it might be worth.
Yep.
I think we could make a whole show out of it.
Absolutely, we could.
Yeah.
And by the way, the week errands, you get those for tasting.
Oh. So it's a takeaway.
Yeah, it's a takeaway from it. So you do a $10, a $15, or a $20 tasting, and you get a free week errand. The $10 one spirit, $20 $15 two spirits.
Do you get to pick the three then?
Yeah.
For $20?
Yeah, they're well. Actually, wait a minute. I think they have specials on what they're focusing on.
Okay.
That particular day, it was the Saint, the Armagnac, and they had a rum.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I don't know if they do
Now
a different
here,
menu each day, or whether you can pick any of the bottles on the counter, or what.
What's really interesting, you just mentioned rum. Rum, for some reason or another, the best places for rum are where it's fucking really hot all the time.
Right. Like
So
Bahamas and
We're on the
Jamaica.
very northern end of that world.
Right.
Because you go to Jamaica, the best rum I've ever had was I honeymooned in Jamaica, and when I came off the beach and put clothes on, we took a tour at a rum distillery.
Was it a nude beach, I'm assuming? Or you just turned it into one?
The cop showed up to my house. The cop showed up to my house today.
Okay. That's a weird segue, but okay.
I know, but the cop showed up to my house today because the neighbors called. And they said, "Sir,
please close your curtains.
Your neighbors are complaining that you're walking around your house naked." And I said, "Yes, I walk around my house naked." And they said, "That's absolutely fine as long as you're doing it on the inside."
Right.
So, needless to say, I forgot to put clothes on when I took the garbage out.
Uh-oh. Oh, well.
I'm just kidding. If it were up to me, I would be naked all the time. I know that sounds funny, and I wouldn't say make that statement if I was still fat.
Right. There you go.
But now, it's funny? I'll tell you something that was goddamn funny yesterday.
All right.
At the beach. There was a whole passel of what looked like high school kids to me. I mean, I'm a bad judge of age. They could have been in their 20s too.
There was a bachelorette party full of high school kids on the Sunset boat cruise. Whether they were kids or not, I don't care. They were kids.
What was funny to me is as I'm walking across the beach, now I'm with Jack and Elizabeth and Grace.
The world's only old-fashioned Finnish bourbon. That's the Saint.
That's whoa!
That was nice, wasn't it?
Jeez.
Yep, had her to klutz.
Not really. Just wasn't paying attention.
No, I'm really a klutz. I just hide it well most of the time.
Anyways, I was walking across the beach, and all of a sudden Grace goes, "Hey, Dad." I'm like, "Yeah." "Those teenage girls are looking at you." I'm like, "What? Fuck you. No, they're not." I thought she was busting my balls. And she says, "No, really, I'm serious."
No, really, they're looking at you.
She's like, you're really ripped.
That's
I'm like,
awesome.
I'm like, get
Good picture.
smoking good picture. I know right where that is too.
Yep. We were out on the lagoon doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good time. If you go to St. Augustine, take more than a day.
Mm-hmm.
You really need it.
It's good for a weekend. That's a
It
good
is.
weekend, long weekend.
Yeah,
Or
and that's
or a
kind of
weekend.
what we did.
A Friday night to Sunday afternoon, you can get a lot done in that.
And that's exactly what we did. But
'Cause
we
it's a
were
good
so pressed
downtown
for time
district.
the entire time.
Yeah, there's a very good downtown district. It's a walking district. You walk
Oh,
all
yeah.
over the place there. There's lots of good restaurants.
We were literally walking distance from the distillery.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
It's a,
into the street, 300, 400 feet down.
yeah, it's, I mean,
Yeah.
everything's pretty packed in down there, and the streets are very narrow because it's very old.
Right.
You know, it's
There's a reason for that. We learned that on the tour.
oh, okay.
The streets are narrow because they didn't want more than 4 or 5 people being able to walk side by side at any given time to protect the city.
Oh, interesting.
So those narrow little streets, the buildings, when they would fire cannons, the narrow little streets would kind of channel
That makes
the
sense.
cannonballs. The coquina would absorb the cannonball.
Yeah.
Here, the story about the fort. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
The walls are painted black.
Black.
Right? Cannonballs hit in the middle of the night. They go out there and they paint the whole wall black again. You can't even tell it got hit.
Right.
So the next morning, the enemy would go, "What the fuck?"
Yeah. Yeah. I think about, when you go there, you come to realize it's like, man, some poor 15-year-old was out here and in fear for his fucking life in a foreign land, trying to fend a fucking piece of shit piece of sand on the fucking ocean.
Yeah.
And getting blasted.
Yep.
So, yeah, what's funny about it? Because when the first time I went to St. Augustine, which was fucking years and years ago, but I'd forgotten about the 4 people walking. Because the thing that always struck me is if you go to Philadelphia, what's called Center City, the streets are very much like Lower Manhattan,
Right.
and in Center City they made enough room for a sidewalk. Okay, a 2-person sidewalk, and enough room then for 2 carriages to pass each other.
And again, making sure that your big groups of troops can't come through there and just devastate everything.
Yeah, interesting. Well, what's interesting now, because now when you go into Center City, okay, it's there's 80-story buildings there.
Right.
So you're
and
in
still this wide.
and right, we're still this tiny.
You probably hand something to the guy across the way, right?
Yeah, but then you're like, holy cow.
Right.
Yeah. Which is interesting.
So, yeah, that was a very fun trip to St. Augustine, and I do recommend it. But if you're going to go there, at least do a long weekend for sure.
Yeah. I that's what I would
No
recommend.
doubt about that.
And here,
There's a lot to see.
the
Oh, the other thing we did, the lighthouse.
lighthouse is great.
I
there.
made it to the top of the lighthouse for the first time in 17 years.
You're still in shape then.
Dude, I could not believe I actually made it all the way to the top of that damn thing.
You just keep going.
Yeah, 219 steps.
Yep.
And at first I was a little scared of it, just because
Sure.
our
I know.
thing,
I get it.
you get a little gun shy for shit like that sometimes.
Yeah, I
And
get
you
it.
have to push yourself to
That's why I
actually
get on that fucking elliptical.
Yeah. But Aiden was really good. I mean, he wasn't going to push me, but he really wanted me to go up there with him. I could tell it. So I wasn't about to disappoint him. I finally just said, you know what? Fuck it.
That last
take
sip,
my time.
that last sip might have been the best sip.
Dude, it gets better as it gets to the bottom. It really
Yeah, well,
does.
that's classic old fashioned. You get more
And I can't
orange.
wait to get into this orange and the cherry here in a minute.
Yeah.
That's going to be good. You know what I love, though? Here. That big old block of ice we put in there
Is gone.
is almost gone.
Yeah.
But what I love about it And this is the sugar in that syrup is the pits in it. That
Yeah,
mottled,
I got the same thing.
Yep. The almost sandy surface to it.
Yeah. Well,
So there's plenty of sugar in there. Oh, cheery. I got to get my last sip. All right, come out of there.
nothing like getting a cherry.
Right?
Oh,
Not a Luxardo, but still.
no, that really soaks up the spice.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow.
Oh, I can't wait to get that orange.
Yeah, that orange is going to be good. I promise you. Take those seeds out, yeah.
All right, so what do you got for us next week?
I don't know. Like I fucking know. You know, we're getting into summer though, so I've been thinking about that. Maybe some classic summertime drinks. Maybe some rum drinks.
Okay.
You know, I don't know. Look here, a classic umbrella drink is the Singapore sling. That's something I've been rattling around in my head.
Okay.
For those of you that don't know, that is, you go to Hawaii, every fucking place in Hawaii will give you a Singapore sling. It's very common. They'll call it something else, and it's still a Singapore sling. So yeah, no,
Are we going to do a series, or are we
I
going
don't
to do
know.
another summer series this year?
I gotta tell you, I have been so. Here, I know what it is. The fuck it mentality has taken over so much of my life, where I just don't give a shit about so much stuff that I used to, because I now realize how unfucking important it is.
Right.
And I refuse to live back there. I'm just living in the now and forward.
Here, I even said this to somebody the other day. Don't look back over that shoulder. You don't live there anymore. You know? Was that incredible?
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Best old-fashioned orange he's ever had. No, I'm just kidding.
It's very different.
Yeah.
One of the things that, if you make them with oranges, one of the things I like to do, if you make it with an orange and you do the ice cube, you put the orange and the ice cube or the sugar cube in and get those bitters
Muddle
on
it,
both,
basically.
and then muddle.
Yeah. We could do a variation with some of that, you know. We got a whole bottle of this shit to use.
I know. You know,
Not
here,
calling it shit, just
no, it's
it's
very
not shit.
It's
very
very
good.
different. It's not.
Yeah.
It's a St. Augustine old fashioned. That's what that is.
Yeah.
It's a riff.
Yeah.
But it's a really delicious riff, and I think putting it with some of the bourbons that we talked about would be just fucking fire.
Yep. And you know what? If we can somehow swing it at some point, a bottle of the Saint wouldn't be bad with this at all. Because they're being finished.
Oh, I would like to try it with the Armagnac too.
Yeah, but finished with this, and then the bourbon itself is finished
In that,
in this. That would be a hell of a combo.
that could be.
I just can't see paying $200 for a bottle of liquor.
Well, here's the thing, okay? Would you rather buy that bottle of liquor or spend the same amount? Well, not only, I'm just thinking, I'm staying in the liquor world. Here, for $200, you can get a Stag Junior, which is 20 times better than the Saint, and I've never had the Saint.
Right.
Okay. So
that's what we need to do. We need to go down there and each do the $20 tasting and have a selection of their liquors tasting only.
yeah,
Check
because
it out like that.
then you can really sit there, because one of the things, you know, I'll tell you what, and I've said this many times, the two best bourbons I've ever had were a George T. Stagg and William LaRue Weller, which are both part of the BTAC Buffalo Trace Ancient Collection BTAC lineup.
Right.
And I want to complete that lineup, so I still got 2 more to go. But I if I can weasel a bottle for that kind of price point out of somebody,
Yeah.
I'll do that just so that you can taste it and go, oh, fuck me in the asshole with no lube.
You'll never hear me utter that statement. You will never hear me utter that statement. Just saying.
Here, no, I'll tell you what. If you're in the bourbon world, to me, if you taste either one of those, and I personally, I've said it on one of our streams one time. The best bourbon I've ever had was George T. Stagg. But I've also said it online. The best bourbon I've ever had is WLW. So, one's weeded,
Right.
one's not.
And it's a matter of your taste at the moment. Sometimes here, I've always said back.
You would like the William LaRue Weller because you have a preference for weeded bourbons,
right.
So
Here's what I always used to tell people when I was selling instruments, musical instruments, because I did musical instrument sales for about 5 years. They would come in and go, "What's the best guitar you got in the store?"
well, it depends.
And number one, I'm a keyboard player, so it's going to be hard for me to tell what the best one of these is. But the fact is, best is a relative term.
Yeah, absolutely.
Best is what you personally prefer. Now, do you like this $20 guitar up here? Probably not.
But do you like this $4,000 Taylor?
Right, you probably like that one.
You
Is
might.
that the best guitar in here?
I don't know.
Might not be at that price. You got to play them.
You got to get a feel for them. Here, you hand somebody a Strat that's a Strat that's tuned for Stevie Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he had his strings about fucking 5 feet off the fucking.
Not only that, but he used something crazy like 13.
Yeah, I mean
heavy ass gauge.
heavy. I mean his.
That man had some hand
He
strength.
had some
no
hands.
doubt.
Yes. Well, if you ever look at it, I mean, he has big hands.
Yeah.
And big fingers, and I can see why he had his strings so high and
Yep.
how he played those heavy gauges.
Yeah.
Okay. Most people, especially the novices, they want to have that rig, that setup, because they're going to get that sound. No,
Not gonna happen.
you're not.
No, you're not.
'Cause
Each
you ain't
person
him.
has their own individual sound. You can have 2 people play the same guitar, and it's going to sound totally different, both people, because of their touch.
Here, this is the biggest thing that I learned. Again, I don't play an instrument, but I learned by watching, and I remember watching a video, Jimmy Page, and he said you can play a guitar with a bow like this, and he played it like he played it on stage, so he's real heavy.
Right.
Grinding
the shit out of it.
making a crazy fucking sound.
Right.
Okay. He says, but then you can play it like this, and just gentle and
Single
actually.
string. Right. It's not curved like a violin, but he would
No,
get that
but
last
he would
2
get
strings
that
by the
touch,
angle. Yeah.
and the sound would be 180 degrees the opposite.
Yep.
So it was just like,
Then you get the theremin involved, and then you're all kind of crazy.
yeah. Well, what was cool about it is he says he was playing it real light, and he says then you can do this, and he wah-wah'd it.
Wow.
Oh, it was wow! It was really cool.
Oh, the song remains the same. One of the best concert movies ever.
Yeah,
No doubt.
no doubt.
And you got to love Robert Plant with the Y-shaped joint.
It's still not the best. The best rock and roll movie, though. The best rock and roll movie. I mean,
What you got?
there's.
Which one?
I know I'm going to get blasted for this, but I don't care.
All right.
11.
Spinal
Tap.
All right.
Because it's a parody, and it's so accurate. It's so fucking funny.
I'm going to go with campy and cheesy.
Okay, I can hang
but
with that.
action.
And you know,
Highlander.
oh,
Christopher Lambert, the French Scotsman.
yes,
And Queen. What a
Yeah.
fucking album.
Great
A Kind
album.
of Magic. If you haven't heard it, check it out.
yeah. You know, and I know we're gonna get blasted because a lot of people are gonna say, "How can you Song Remains the Same is, and then you're going to get Sergeant Pepper, and you're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
get Long Day's Night.
Hey, Sergeant Pepper was, to me, the movie, fucking joke. Come on. Peter Frampton, I mean, I love Peter Frampton, but no. The Bee Gees, no.
Yeah.
You know, the hell were they thinking?
But, I know, but, there's fans for everything out there.
Right. Here, when I was doing the midnight movie circuit, it was Highlander was one of them. Of course, Spinal Tap was in there too. But some of the other stuff, Song Remains the Same.
Well, and some people are going to come back and say, fucking, how can you say that fucking Meatloaf in Meatloaf's Rocky Horror Picture Show isn't the fucking best ever?
As far as total movie, nothing but rock and roll focused and all that, The Wall.
Oh, see,
That one trips though. I mean, you got to be kind of screwed up in the head.
I was going
to get that one.
I was going to suggest. I said, if you're going to go see The Wall, you should go see The Wall, but chew on some mushrooms and then go see The Wall.
There you go.
Yeah, those special
Whatever
kind of mushrooms. Not just you go get some dried porcinis at Wawa or whatever.
And spoiler alert, the judge is a literal asshole.
That's true.
Oh, what else used to be on the midnight movie circuit? Let's go a little weird.
Oh man,
here.
we are way off on a fucking tangent. We didn't cover any fucking craziness other
Buckaroo
than
Banzai.
Oh.
Yeah, we only covered a couple minutes of craziness because I went right back to St. Augustine.
Yeah, well,
Sorry, tangent.
It's on your brain. It's on your brain. You really enjoyed yourself.
We did. We had a really good weekend. It wasn't just the St. Augustine trip yesterday. Over the weekend either. We had a really good time yesterday too. We had a whole group of people over here, including Aiden's mom and her boyfriend, and a friend of theirs came over for a little bit.
Yeah.
We had Betty's sister-in-law in town who had gone to St. Augustine with us, and Aiden was over here, and of course Aiden's best friend and their mother. And another kid was over here. So we had a house full yesterday.
Yeah, no, I saw the pictures you sent me.
Dude, they went and grabbed the bench from the laundry and brought it over here.
Well, why did they put it back?
God, we're going to get in trouble.
As long as they put it back.
They did.
Yeah.
That's all right. I talked to the maintenance guy this morning. He said, "You've been here 7 years. That's the first time you've ever done that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You're fine."
What time is it?
It is after 10 o'clock.
Well,
brother.
fuck it. We need to get out of here.
Yeah, let's get out of here because I got to go to work tomorrow again.
Yeah.
And I'm going to come home and try to figure out how to program all this shit tomorrow.
I'll tell you what, and I don't want to give it away, but...
No, I'm going to preview some of it. You saw me bring the
Yeah,
box
I know.
Bill Mason,
the
I know
Hatter,
you're watching over
the
there.
Hatter has got himself some new fucking toys, which I got a preview of, which is why we were late.
Yeah,
on
because
the
I was showing off some equipment over here.
And I'll tell you what, I am looking forward.
Oh, you and me both, brother. I can't wait to get.
I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to watching your learning curve on it, your programming curve on it, and then mastering that.
Oh,
now mastering might be a while,
I
but
can't
that's
wait
okay.
to get elbow deep in this shit.
Yeah,
I mean,
I see it.
Bill,
because I know
this
better.
box is the key to opening up our live performance right there. Wouldn't you agree? Based on my description of it?
It's going to, Bill, from the little bit that I know, I have a little knowledge. As Bill knows, I have a little knowledge. That is going to bring another dimension to your band. It's just,
yes, it is.
Will.
Along with this right here.
Which this isn't going to make sense for a lot of people because people don't know people don't think of music in these terms yet.
That will allow me to hook this up to a 30-year-old keyboard and a 25-year-old keyboard and a pedal system and control the whole damn thing. And Bill, if you decide to change songs on me in the middle of a set, look here. I can take Long Strange
Just move
Day
it,
right here.
move it around where you're going to want it in the
I
set.
can take Long Strange Day right here, pull it up right there, and on the pedal, it will be in the right place in the set.
Yeah. No, it's
I just have to hit up.
It's I'm looking forward to seeing the progression of this.
I can't wait. It might take a couple of weeks to get it all programmed and everything, but
Are you gonna play? You gotta play us out, man.
oh shit, I totally forgot. Yeah, I don't think you'll have to do anything over there. I've been able to hook up with it without recently.
You can't, I mean, we can't let the people down.
Vamp for us.
Yeah, we can't let the crowd down. All right, let's go over social medias.
Yes, please.
At Facebook on Facebook, I should say, at Loquacious Libations.
Same on YouTube.
Same thing on YouTube, which is what you're probably watching this on, at Loquacious Libations. On Instagram, it's at Loquacious_Libations. And on our disappointing X,
Elon, we got to get this shit figured out.
but we got to get this figured out because we want to continue using that platform.
We did the Grok Tale and we couldn't even go live with it.
I love that. I love that platform. I mean,
Me too.
You know what? I'm not a social media guy at all. Okay, which is why we suck on Instagram because I got a sign taking care of Instagram.
And we've sucked recently on Facebook and YouTube as well.
And I completely suck at it. But on X, I'm on there all the time.
He practically lives on X.
I have met some really interesting people on there, especially fellow Marines. We can make each other laugh all the time. I really enjoy that platform. And I've met some really, really neat people on there. Some good people. So that is at Loquacious Live. Just Loquacious Live. Which
for the time being, anyway, we may have to change that if we can't go live there. Hell?
We're going to figure it out, and we're going to go back to doing this live on either Tuesday. You know,
I'm going to tell Grok he needs to tell Elon to get his shit together.
Yeah, because we're getting throttled or something's up with it. So
I don't know. We're going to figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
All
eventually.
Right. We will see you guys next week on Wednesday.
What
Even
we're
if we
doing,
do it
we
on
don't-
Tuesday,
we
we have
don't
no
know.
idea yet. We'll try to let you know.
And here,
through the week.
if we figure this out during the week, you know,
We
one of
might
the
go live.
You know, the things we should just say is you can maybe look for a surprise live,
There you go.
which we tried to do today.
Any time of day.
Any time of day,
Surprise.
any day of the week.
We might even try that to test this and see if it's time of day or what. IQ, our internet provider, says that it shouldn't be anything to do with being throttled at a time of day. But we just proved it again.
Because you would think with that kind of bandwidth that we wouldn't have a problem.
We were getting 1.5.
Yeah, I got 1.5 right before and you got 1.5 on that camera.
It's almost like the minute we go live, somebody's watching and goes.
I can't tell
I
you
sound
what
like
it
a
is.
conspiracy theorist, but
I hate to say it, but that could be. We don't know. We just don't know. And we're not even we covered this much craziness.
right.
We talked about one item. We could have talked this whole show.
We could have done the whole damn show on it.
There's so much going on. It's,
Oh, yeah.
It's incredible.
Diddy,
Oh, if you're
Karen
not,
Reed, Mary Lou Retton getting popped for a DUI. What the fuck? Anyway. You guys have a great week. We will see you next week with something at some point.
and some alcohol.
Yeah.
Come and have a cocktail with us.
We might just do it as a flash like we tried to do again tonight. Just to see if
And
we can
you know
test
what?
it,
We
you know.
might not advertise it. Maybe that was.
There you go. Just go live.
Just go. We're just gonna do it.
Because I did preview and said keep an eye here.
Yeah, I know.
Watch the space.
Maybe we'll just go live and then I'll blast out as we just went live. We just went live.
Yep. All right. We'll figure it out. We'll see you next week, one way or another. Wednesday night at 8:30. This will broadcast tomorrow night at 8:30. Bill, I'll see you Thursday night with some of this equipment.
Peace, everybody.
Peace
We're
out.
out.
See ya.